when black life is the issue. I'm not saying that that's Brother Giannis, but I would like to know. I'm very interested to know where he stood in that entire process. If he did stand on the right side of history yesterday, I applaud him. And I thought it was rather commendable that it was Giannis and not LeBron James. Or should I say Giannis's team and not LeBron James's team that made the first step to go forward with the boycott. After all, one of the main reasons why the NBA season resumed was to try and help LeBron James earn a fourth NBA title. With that being said, I do respect the fact that LeBron, along with the Lakers and the Clippers, did decide to boycott the rest of the season. However, I just learned that the players had decided to continue the playoffs beginning this weekend. I am a little disappointed that this boycott lasted less than 24 hours. I am very disappointed that this boycott lasted less than 24 hours. I am not going to throw those brothers who are in the bubble under the bus because I know they're dealing with enough as it is. Some of them have lost loved ones due to COVID. Some of them had struggled financially as a result of the 5-month COVID lockout. But at the same time, as a black man, coming from a legacy, we all are, of black men in American history who have stood up and sacrificed everything they had in order to speak up for black people, I do find it somewhat disrespectful that our NBA superstars in the bubble could not maintain their commitment, could not maintain their dedication, and could not maintain their honor for 24 hours. And from what the news reports are telling us, that the white power structure of the NBA dangled that carrot in front of their faces. That the NBA owners had an option to renegotiate the players' contract should the players continue to boycott the playoffs. So, although I understand that that can be a very precarious, uncomfortable, financially inconvenient situation to find yourself in, at the same time, it hurts that they were able to force our basketball players away from the boycott because of financial considerations. Money should never be more important than life. Your career should never be more important than life. So what? They want to renegotiate the player's contract. So what? They want to fine you for not playing. So what? They wanted to make life financially miserable for NBA players. So what? That's why it's called sacrifice. That is why it's called sacrifice, because it's not convenient. Sacrifice is not supposed to be convenient. You can't say I'm going to stand up against police genocide and the police brutality of black people, and the minute the owners of the NBA and the commissioner of the NBA and the power structure of the NBA, the minute they stand up and say, well, we spent a lot of money for y'all to be in this bubble. We sacrificed a lot for y'all to be in this bubble. We had to pay Walt Disney. We had to pay the hotels. We had to pay the chefs. We sacrificed a lot. We've already lost 5 months worth of revenue. Y'all lost 5 months worth of revenue because of Donald Trump. Y'all lost 5 months of revenue because of white supremacy. Y'all lost 5 months of revenue because of population control agendas of the United States government. Black people have nothing to do with COVID. We did not create it. We did not release it. We did not call off your season. That is between you and your white racist government. That has nothing to do with black people. That is between you and your white racist government. That has nothing to do with black people. But yet and still, we allow the NBA to come back to us. We allow the NBA to come back to us and say, well, listen, we're hurting financially. And so we need you guys to care a little bit more about the NBA than black people. We're hurting financially. So if you guys decide to continue with this boycott, we're going to have to take a second look at the contract that we have with the NBA Players Association. Did y'all not think they would not do that? Did you not know that they would do that? We're talking about rich white men. We have been dealing with them on this continent for at least 400 years and globally for at least 1,000. Are you telling me that you did not know they would try to grab your Achilles heel? Did you not know they would try to make life inconvenience for you guys? So I'm disappointed. I'm not going to throw y'all under the bus. I support George Hill and the other outspoken players of the other NBA teams that are in the bubble. I believe there's 16 total that are in the playoffs. And I support those players who spoke up and who continue to speak up and who wanted the boycott to continue. But I am upset at the superstars. Yes, I am. I'm disappointed in LeBron James. I'm disappointed in Kawhi Leonard. I'm disappointed in Chris Paul. I'm disappointed in Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I'm disappointed in most of the superstars because it was you guys. It was you guys who carry the weight. LeBron James, I respect you, brother. I'm a supporter of yours. But your fourth NBA championship is not more important than black life. Your fourth NBA championship is not more important than black life. And I'll tell you that to your face. Okay? I don't know what excuse y'all going to give the black community. I don't know what excuse y'all going to give the black community. I don't know what excuse y'all going to give the black community, but this is not acceptable. It's not acceptable. Now, let me say this. Those are the reports that the season is going to resume. It's being reported that all 16 teams in the playoffs will resume their games this weekend. The Clippers and the Lakers were going to call off the rest of their season. I support LeBron for that. I support Kawhi for that. I support the players in both the Clippers and the Lakers locker room who are in support of canceling the rest of the season. I support you on that. But if you turn 360 degrees, if you made a 360 degree about face in less than 24 hours and backed up off your square because of financial threats from NBA ownership, I can't respect that. I can't respect that. Okay? If you backed off, again, this is all based on the reports that I'm hearing. If the reports are incorrect, then I stand corrected. I'm only going off what I'm seeing in the media, the mainstream media, not the Hotep media. I don't listen to them. The mainstream media. Okay? They're saying that all 16 teams have agreed to return. That's what I'm hearing. And what I'm saying, if that is true, okay, then I'm disappointed that y'all would give in to the white power structure so quickly. I could have appreciated a week. I could have appreciated 3 or 4 days. Still would not have been satisfied, but at least I could have appreciated. But to throw in the towel in less than 24 hours, that's not acceptable. And it's not acceptable for players in this generation either. Peace and love, family. And part of the reason that it's not acceptable is because we saw Colin Kaepernick. We saw Colin Kaepernick stand stronger and stand longer. Colin Kaepernick is still standing against police genocide, and he did it by himself. The more all the other, he was not allowed to stay at the team's hotel, couldn't be served at the restaurant, so Bill Russell refused to play. This is way back in the day. Bill Russell, who marched with Dr. King, still alive in his 80s. We salute Bill Russell, who stood up. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who stood up. It is inexcusable for these athletes, and y'all have more money than they did. You guys are wealthier than them. They didn't have the endorsements you guys have. You could give up on your NBA salary, many of you, and still be comfortable. What excuse do you have? Basketball is more important than black life? Is basketball more important than black life? If you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. Again, I'm not trying to be overly critical. I don't have all the information. Obviously, you never can if you don't sit at the table. But according to the media, all 16 teams have agreed to resume play. They did mention that the players had some demands. But guess what, fellas? If you go back to playing, I think we all know what's going to happen to your demands. Guess what, fellas? If you go back to playing basketball, I think we all know what is going to happen to your demands. They're going to be ignored. You cannot give up the boycott and still make demands. You cannot give up the protest and still make demands. You cannot give up the embargo and still make demands. You can't do that. You can't have it both ways. That's why it's called sacrifice. You have to give up something of convenience in order to make a difference. Sacrifice, by definition, means you have to give up something of convenience in order to make a change. So y'all will sacrifice your health and risk contracting COVID in the NBA bubble, but you won't sacrifice leaving the bubble to make a difference for Black America. So you will sacrifice your health and your family by being away from them to play in this bubble where you can catch COVID, a potentially fatal disease, but you won't sacrifice the season in order to stand up and support Black life. You want to boycott the NBA, you want to boycott the NFL, but you don't want to boycott the United States electoral process. You want to boycott the NFL, you want to boycott the NBA, you want to boycott America's corporations, but when are you going to boycott the United States government itself? When are you going to boycott the United States government itself? When are you going to boycott that phony election system that they have in place that doesn't do anything for Black people? When are you going to boycott that? When are you going to boycott that? That is the question. That is the question. Now, some of you who are politically uneducated and emotionally immature, you think that if you get rid of Trump, you have achieved something for Black America. Well, I got news for you. I don't care who the president would have been, and I don't care who the president is going to be. Let me say this again. I don't care who the president would have been right now, and I don't care who the president is going to be next year. But guess what? The problems you have right now, you would still have them anyway. The problems you have right now, you would still have them anyway. That's right. If Hillary Clinton was president, that boy would have still got shot in the back, and the police would still not be arrested. If Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama was president, Breonna Taylor, rest in peace, would have still been shot dead, and her killers still would not be arrested. That's right. What did Barack Obama do about police killing Black people? What did Barack Obama do about police killing Black people? What did Barack Obama do about police killing Black people? He did nothing at all. He did absolutely nothing at all. In fact, about a week after Freddie Gray had his spine snatched from his skull, Barack Obama signed a blue shield law to protect police from dangerous citizens. But he didn't sign a black shield law to protect Black people from dangerous police. This narrative that getting rid of Trump is going to change something for Black America is an absolute lie. Do you know the Democratic Party support the Fraternal Order of Police? Are you aware of that? Are you aware that Joe Biden is supported by the Fraternal Order of Police? And Donald Trump is supported by the Fraternal Order of Police? But that's an emotional Negro. That's the problem we have. You've been brainwashed. You've never gotten nothing voting, and you never will get nothing voting, because voting doesn't control America. Power does. Power does. Why don't the Chinese try to run for president? Why don't the Arabs try to run for president? Why don't the European Jews try to run for president? Because they understand money controls politics. Politics does not control money. Money controls politics. Politics does not control money. Money controls politics. Politics does not control money.